Party trading live trading stream. Well, we're not going to do live trading today. We're going to do a bit of a recap on some of the exciting trading today. One thing I can start with, it is true what they say when it is darkest before the dawn. And that is exceptionally true within trading. So what we're going to do today is we're going to quickly, well, not quickly, but recap the trades that I've taken today, the trades that I took last night after the trade session, and also look at a big Bitcoin outlook, which is looking a lot more positive than you may think. Now, as we had just started this stream, we've seen quite a significant Bitcoin dump, which may have been caused by some potentially FUD news regarding a drone strike on the Kremlin. We only just heard about it not so long ago, but at the same time, it was one of those things which, as this got released on social media, it also we saw Bitcoin just smashing it down. It is like what we're seeing at the moment is BBC is reporting it is happening, and Ukraine are denying that they had anything to do with it. And apparently this happened at 3 a.m. last night, so it's not new stuff. So ultimately, at the end of the day, this is the kind of news that can quite dramatically rock the market. So just be aware of it. But for that reason, that's kind of why I'm not trading now, because we don't really know what's on the horizon. When there's such turmoil and uncertainty like that, then it's sometimes a bit, safer just to stay out of the market, because we don't particularly know what's going to happen, and your technical analysis will go to shit. In a word, it just will. That as well, we've got the PMI data dropping at 3 p.m. UK time, and then as well the FOMC announcement at 7 p.m. So we're going to be loaded with volatility today onwards, and at time of talking, we're about an hour into the US coming online, which lo and behold, there was a dump around about that time. So a lot of stuff going on. So in a word, guys, I'd probably just be a little bit wary with leverage trading and scalping today. Maybe just put it down, watch how the market turns tomorrow. But in regards to getting positions on Bitcoin and longer term trading, I think it's still pretty safe. I don't think we're going to see kind of catastrophic moves like 20% moves. I do think we might see up to potentially 5% moves here and there, which will destroy any kind of stop losses. So as you can see on the screen, let's recap on the trades that I did yesterday. First of all, we didn't have a great day trading. I'm going to start straight off. In fact, we had a really bad day trading. It was my first loss in about 12, 13 days, which was inevitable. It was coming. But I did a few things wrong that I do want to shine a light on and recap, because I tried to be too smart. I tried to outsmart the system, but I got pretty much the definition of wick hunted or stop hunted right here. And what this trade was, I was already around about $5 down. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get about 5% to rebalance it, and start today with a bit of break-even basis. And it was going all right. I took this long trade right here, as you can see where the little moo cow is, and or bull if you want to go down that route. And it started pretty well, because I thought, in all fairness, we had a pretty decent breakout here. I wasn't expecting such a significant drop back down, I'm not going to lie. But as the price pumped up, it was actually on its way, so I was pretty confident. And then I even debated raising the stop loss, just to lock in that break even. Locking that profit at break even. However, the price carried on down. Now, when it got to around about here, it was holding on a little bit. And genuinely, what I thought it was going to retrace, and I was going to be right. So my original stop loss, and here it is, this is the mistake which I made. The original stop loss was just below this most recent swing low, like I always say, and that's what my risk was. My risk was set to 10% of my balance to exactly 0.64% down. I tried to read the market as it was going, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to extend my risk a little bit, and I wanted to use this swing low just here. So I lowered my stop loss to about here and gave myself a bit of breathing space. And to be honest, if we were I was potentially expecting to wick this. As we did, we came down, and I thought, honestly, at this point, I'd nailed it, and we were way off. And then, as you can see, it just retraced down a little bit, and I just got wicked out. and literally the next couple of candles, we go straight to profit. So that one hurt twofold. One, because we smashed basically from the stop loss straight to take profit in, the space of about 10, 15 minutes. And that would have been, it'd been such an amazing trade to have done that, such an amazing call to have done that. But unfortunately, um, it didn't work out like that. And ironically, if we'd have been on quite a low liquidity asset, we might not even have got filled and we could have got away with it. But these things happen. But as you can see, this top trade on the positions below is $18, and that's more than $10, which is what my 10% risk should have been, because we extended the stop loss. And so that double hurt. That was pretty much almost almost a 20% loss. That on top of a previous loss of 11% put me at 29% down pretty much for the day. I jumped on trading a little bit later on in the evening, and just because I wanted to not start today on such a bad foot. And so I recouped a 5% pullback on that. So we took it down to a daily end of 24% loss, which is pretty horrific. But when you're kind of dealing with 10% risks per trade, that's to be expected. And in the grand scheme of things, even at the lowest point, we were. Let's drop this down. Even at our lowest points in all of this, we were still 31.82% up on our entire balance in 12 days. So, like I said, we were kind of expecting a loss at some point. We can't just go up forever. As as good a trader as you are going to have bad days. And this is a really good kind of like teaching moment in the fact where it's like you've just got to get back on the horse and continue with your strategy and just do what it's telling you. So what this did was this helped me realign with just following the strategy. Stop trying to be a bit clever. Yesterday I was trying to be a bit clever with reading the market, and it went against me a little bit. I actually added up. I actually went and back tested all of the trades had I have taken them during my trading time. So from 9 till 5, and then I also included the evening session from 7 till like about 10, 11 p.m. Had I have done that, had I just taken every single trade at entry with a one-to-one risk reward, nearest kind of swing low, swing high, we would have come out with a 30% winning day. 30% if I just followed the strategy. But instead, I was trying to be smart, trying to be clever, trying to juggle a lot. So today, I put my head down and I just followed the strategy. I jumped on, and oh, that's some scalp signals coming in. We're not trading any scalps today because of some of the news that's out at the moment. It's just a bit too volatile, to be honest. And also, I don't need to because I'm going to run through that in a second. So head down, and I just followed the strategy, and let's see how that went. So sadly, we didn't get into these trades. I wish I had done. Both of these trades would have taken me pretty much to profit. So I did miss out on a clean 20% there, but it's not the end of the world. We jumped in on this trade, and this trade, and we stacked them all. And as you can see, all three of them went to profit, pulling in 30%, which was great. For some reason, it's come in a little bit less than that, which is a bit of a shame. So I haven't actually had a chance to look at the fees. I think I went in on limit order on all of those and exited on limit order on all of those. Maybe I just didn't align my... Oh, no, okay, there was one market order in there for a take profit. So that would have hit that. So all in all, it should have been around about 30%, but it ended up being 27%, which is not bad. And then on top of coming in today with a 5%, 4.67%, 5% win from last night, which really, really helped. And not only did it help catch up with yesterday's losses, but it actually put me about 4% up today, which is an awesome day trading anyway. But in reflection to how badly yesterday went, then yeah, really, really great. And sadly, we unfilled this one. There was a 100% chance I would have closed this as soon as I've seen any rejection, probably even around about this point here, to be honest, because this would have been just a bonus trade. But honestly, it was right about here when that tweet came out about the drone strike on Kremlin. And as you can see, the market absolutely stacked it down. Probably a lot of people around about now are thinking like, actually, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe this is a bit of propaganda. They might be fabricating it. We don't know. It's all very speculative at the moment. Or maybe it's just not that serious. So people are probably just either you know, they did well on their shorts, buying back in. I don't know, but yeah, the price is stabilized a lot now. So that's a bit of a recap on how the past couple of days and today has gone trading. If you would have been following in the Market Scanner channel on Telegram, you would have got all of these trades, and you could have literally just traded along with them. Yeah, I mean, it makes me so sad when I'm jumping into these trades, and they're so easy to take, that the targets are literally there for you to just take the trades, and yeah, you can be making 30% on your account in a day. It's well, even more if you'd have actually been a bit more diligent than I had. So yeah, like I said, guys, don't sleep on the Market Scanner. If you're in the premium channel, do not sleep on the Market Scanner. It is such a powerful tool. You don't just have to wait for our kind of like our swing signals, our premium signals. Yeah, they are so strong. But it's really good, really good. Really happy with how today's gone. Such a nice kind of redemption for yesterday's trading, and it hurts more yesterday because I am fully aware of the mistakes I make, and even as a pro trader, you still succumb to these mistakes. So don't punish yourself if you do these things, because at the end of the day, it is such a fast-moving, organic art. It really is an art form when you come down to it, and how you process the information, how you input the information, and that kind of like snap decision making that you need to have in a lot of these circumstances. It's, you know, it's not for everybody, but if you can do it, then kudos to you, because it is a very tough thing. People and strategies and influencers who say trading's easy, use this strategy and stuff like that, it's bullshit. Honestly, trading's not easy, and a lot of it is because of the psychological impact, the consistency, the mentality, and the drive to slowly grind up your portfolios. It's not the funnest thing in the world, and I think that's the illusion that it has, that it is really fun. When you start to approach trading with it being fun, then that's when it starts to creep into the more loose cannon gambling side of things. So just be aware of that. Like I said, approach it like a job. Approach it like you would a real kind of definitive operation or task, and you'll probably do quite well, because it is not, it's not the most complicated thing, but it, you know, you have to have a lot of a lot of, what's the term? You know, you've got to be very focused on yourself and what you do. I don't think that's the term. I'll come to in a minute, but you get what I'm talking about. Anyway, enough preaching about that. Let's have a little look at something else which is pretty cool. So one of a few kind of months ago, I think it was maybe not a few months ago, I think it was last year, I did some analysis on TradingView, and it got picked out for editor's pick, and we ended up kind of like it got absolutely exploded, and it went really well. So, and I just kind of happened across it today, and it reminded me of this strategy that I do look for in a macro sense that I really like. So I thought I'd have a little look at it today and see what kind of impact we're looking at, and let's try and find the chart again to see what kind of impact that strategy is having on it today. So here's one I made earlier. If you're from the UK and you ever watched Blue Peter, then that would make sense. If you're not, I apologize. But we've got three real key things on here, and you know, if in doubt, zoom out. And what we've got going on here at the moment, just make sure you guys can see that in all its glory. Let's just raise this up a little bit so you can see the oscillator. The oscillator plays a big part in this. Now, you can do this with various different oscillators. Now, they've got to have kind of like a relative price about them. And by that, I mean, you know, something like an awesome oscillator, a RSI, not so much a stochastic, but those would be my two ideal picks. Unfortunately, you guys don't have the indicator that I have down here. This is kind of my my secret sauce, which I love. But what you can have access to is this BTC curve. And this is via our Labs subscription, which is getting all a big old revamp to it. And it's going to be re-released in about a couple of weeks time, are kind of like the head of labs. Real smart guy, really good developer, guy called Mike, or BlockDoc, as you may know him on Telegram. He kind of like spearheads a lot of the actual development of the strategies and stuff there. What we do as kind of the traders on Block Party, we would basically advise him on what is really like key and quintessential to making a really good strategy, and he will just not only just, but he's a very good trader himself, but he'll reinterpret that into code, Pine scripts specifically, but very talented developer. We're very lucky to have him on the team. Um, but we're going to go headfirst into a huge library of scripts. We really want to get a lot of our strategies, a lot of the popular strategies out there into a more digestible format for you guys just to basically jump on and just use straight away. You don't have to have 3-4 different indicators set to specific settings in order for it to work. And we want to make sure it's very kind of digestible in the target, so you can set like your TPs very easily. You can alert yourself very easily, or you can even automate them very easily. So some of the things will be brand new that you haven't seen, and our own products. Some of the things will be products that will just be relatively popular, kind of like YouTube strategies, which you'll often see floating around and probably been rehashed. And not to say they don't work at all. Some of them do work, but it's about using them appropriately, properly, and also in the right market conditions. And 9 times out of 10, that's in a trend. So that will be coming soon, and this is one of the unique tools within Labs. So it will have probably about 4, maybe 5 unique indicators within Labs, which are unique. One is going to be the BTC curve. Then we're migrating the Alpha Suite, which is kind of like a framework indicator. It overlays onto your charts, and it makes seeing things so much easier, like trend lines, support, resistance, moving averages, pivots, etc., etc. So you don't have to have multiple indicators on there. It's just all in one little package. Makes life very easy. It's got a very good oscillator on there to help you identify divergences. So that'll be coming soon. And then we've got one more indicator that we're working on, which is something we've been working on for a very long time, because it's something we use on a day-to-day basis, and we've never really come across a good substitute for it. And that's basically pattern identifications. So I'll almost always talk about a pattern within trading, whether it's an ascending wedge, whether it's a descending broadening wedge, ascending triangle, head and shoulders, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. It'd be nice that you could just scan onto a chart and it will just instantly show you what's on there. Now, the problem with that one is it can be so subjective. So we've been working for ages to try and figure out a very kind of all-encompassing way to identify a very definitive pattern that's appearing. So watch this space. Hopefully we'll have it at time of launch. If we don't, you can't rush these things. They're ready when they're ready. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin in long-term macro sense. At the moment, what you're seeing in front of you is the Bitcoin chart. We're using BTC USD index on TradingView on the daily. Now, we use this one because this goes back to the very start of time, not to the start of time, but to the start of Bitcoin. Not to just the start of when it was listed on an exchange, because you could go to Binance, that's probably got one of the longest listings. But this one gives you the definitive start. Now, personally, I don't really pay too much attention to Bitcoin price movement before around about, honestly, around about 2017. I kind of prefer it when like the proper institutions and bigger money starts to come in, and that's where you see a little bit more reliable movement within the market. But prior to that, it was super retail, and the volume was so small that I don't really think that it was kind of. This is just my personal opinion, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. So pretty much like right where you see this trend line starting, that's kind of the region where I start to pay attention to Bitcoin a little bit more. So yeah, so what we're seeing in the, like I said, in front of us, Bitcoin, BTC USD, 1-day chart, and we're actually on the logarithmic chart. You can go to your scales on TradingView. If you right click, go down to logarithmic. I generally always put my charts back to regular. Some people, are always on logarithmic, but like I said, I'm always on regular. But I always use logarithmic for these kind of curve models and stuff like that, because it gives you a little bit more. In fact, I'll show you exactly why. So this is what it looks like now, and this is what it looks like when you put it on a regular one, which is just ridiculous. So logarithmic, there you go. I'm not going to go into the maths of it all because it's not exactly going to help your trading day, is it? So there are three things on here which are very significant to me and what I really, really like to use on a macro sense. You can see here the pi cycle. So the pi cycle tops are, I mean, they are very infrequent. So we are still in the world of this is just pure chance. But they've done a pretty damn good job of identifying the tops, pi cycle top, pi cycle top. And I did not ignore this last one. So it was very, very nice to pay attention to. And then equally as well, we've got the pi cycle bottoms. Now the pi cycle bottoms are something that might kind of added in per se. They're not traditionally used. It's more the tops that are used, but these cycle reversals and bottoms was something that was added in on our side. Not to say that this is unique to us by any means, but they're not the most traditional pi cycle usage of the pi cycle. Again, not going to go into the full formula and calculations of it because it's not going to help you. If you want to look into it, it's not hard to find out more information. But what we wait for with the pi cycle bottoms is we see the pi cycle bottom. We're not waiting for that. We know that once that hits, we're expecting then the reversal. Every time you see a reversal, there's literally about 100% move that follows. And we haven't had, enough of them. We haven't had hundreds of them to define that this is a 70% win rate. We've had like 3 or 4. I can't be bothered to scroll back out because it's a bit laggy at the moment. But we've had our pi cycle reversal signal come in, which is, it's big news, big news. Next up, we've got the actual curve itself. No, the curve itself is not, the traditional logarithmic growth curve, which you'll see quite frequently within Bitcoin analysis. This has a lot more going on behind the scenes. To give you a bit, this is definitely not going to be a tutorial on this because it'll take far too long. But if you do want to find out, then you can go to our website, check out the labs section and the guide, and you can see it all in here. So this is basically everything that goes in here, but you can actually change the model itself to all sorts of different ones. So you can even do like the stock to flow one by plan B, and you can have like the Dixie in there, the M2, whatever. And yeah, you can adjust it accordingly. Again, I'm not going to change it because it's a bit laggy at the moment, so we don't want to spend 5 minutes waiting for it to change because it is quite a beast of a script. So it does take quite some time to load up, but you're not using this in a scalping sense. You're using it, you're checking in on this maybe weekly kind of thing. But it is so powerful if you're a macro BTC trader. And honestly, when the price hit here, that's when we started to buy heavy into BTC. We trusted this thing, and we're glad we did. It took off really well. So now we've got the confirmed bounce there. It's going up. We've now got the pi cycle reversal coming in. That's 2 very, very, very big indications that we're starting to turn bullish. We've now halted. We've now been ranging and consolidating down here. So now we're waiting for the confirmation to turn bullish, which is hopefully going to happen very soon. Now, the third thing, which is one of my favorite ways to utilize, the CVD, which is what we use and what you're seeing here, is simply with using, when the price goes overbought or oversold, then that's where you start to draw your trend line from. So we draw a trend line from here, and we can see that the price shoots up. Even here, we draw a trend line and the price goes up. Now we are scrolled out far, so that is still like a 10-15% move. And then equally, this is the most recent one. So again, we quite easily got in on this pump here, and the price shot up. And as we can see here, let's get a little bit closer now. And as we can start to see here, we've gone over bought. So there is an argument that we could say, there might be a trend line like that. But as we've seen, we've been quite aggressive on these trend lines, and the breakouts have been very, very reliable. So we might see some downward movement, which we were kind of expecting, and we're pretty much seeing right now. And then once we break out through this trend line, this could be it. This could be the moment where we start to really, really drive up. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, month, we could start to see some serious upward pressure, this kind of like pre-halving pump, which would be pretty nice, to be honest. But let's head over to yesterday's analysis. So yesterday's BTC analysis was actually short, but that was also a short-term trend. This is long-term. This is like weeks, months away. But like I said, I don't think we are far off the big BTC move now. If we have a look at yesterday's analysis, which is where we are, we'll drop down to the 6-hour time frame, which is what we did it all on. And you'll see something quite interesting here, which is what I always talk about. And I like it when things can not pay attention, but abide somewhat by general trading analysis. It fills me with a lot of confidence. So as you can see here, the 20 daily exponential moving average is flying through. We broke up through there. We tried to break it and we've broken back down. We've come down. We've bounced off the 50 daily exponential moving average. We've come up and look at this. We've tested the 20 daily exponential moving average like 3 times and we have been rejected. This is quite significant if I'm being honest, because we're starting to get to this little bit of a dangerous trend line. There we go. Sorry, I've gone way too far out. So this kind of pattern here, where are we at? Sorry. So that is the support. So we're on about 3 different BTC charts today. Yeah, okay. So that's what we're kind of looking at. So now we've been rejected off here. We are, that's right, I had to make the trend lines a little bit more visible. So everything kind of fades into the background here, as you can see. So I'll start to use a bit more of a visible trend lines and stuff like that so you can see it much easier. As we've been rejected, like if we break this trend line here, then yeah, we could be heading down to 25K, to be quite honest, guys. Like, sure, we do have a good bit of support, no questions, like around about 27K. But yeah, losing that, I'd pretty much definitely say we're going to go to 25K. I've seen some analysis that is suggesting that we can definitely do that. Interestingly, I think 25K will be the limit of where we would go if we do break down. Because this would take us to the bottom of this untested weekly pivot over here, and also to the 200 daily exponential moving average. Now, we do know that from that macro daily chart that we're kind of expecting a little bit further downward movement before we break out of that CVD trend line, which would kind of make sense here. So, you know, we'd break down here, and then this could be the starting point, the blast off point for Bitcoin going slightly more where we want it to go. But anyway, guys, I wanted to just take today to showcase the mistakes I made yesterday, the redemption that I made today, and also a nice bit of long-term BTC outlook. There's a lot going on now, and it's worthwhile. Oh, sorry about that. I missed you on the chat. Hi, what is the price for the indicator? Let me just show you. So we've got a couple of different options. If you just head on over to the website, blockpartytrading.com, then pretty much anywhere you go, any page, you can see the membership packages on there. The package that we're on at the moment is $199 a month. You do get a 7-day free trial. So I always advise to do the 7-day free trial, to use TradingView's paper trading to make sure that you're super happy with it. You know, we're super confident with it. That's why we offer a 7-day free trial. If you just want the signals, then that's $49. If you're on the full package, which gives a flat access price to all of the bots, so you don't have to share any of the profits, then that's $249. If you've got any questions, though, just drop us an email at admin@blockpartytrading.com or on Telegram at bptadmin, and we'll be right back in touch. Anyway, guys, thank you very, very much, and I will catch you soon.